If you follow these betting picks for UFC 317 this Sunday, Australia time, you are going to make money. I promise you. I promise you, you are going to make money if you follow these picks. We're just going to do the main card. We're gonna keep this nice and short card wise. So the first fight is Peyton Talbott versus Felipe Lima. Look, everyone's saying Felipe Lima is gonna just come out of nowhere and just beat up Peyton Talbott. He's a dangerous prospect. He's got pop in his hands. His hands are heavy and they're ready. Look, man, I think Peyton Talbott's gonna win. To be honest. Yes, we saw him, get absolutely mauled by Raoni Barcelos on the ground, but I feel like he kind of needed that fight to develop more. Like, let's not forget his first round KO of that bloke. It was in like the first 10 seconds. Peyton Talbott's still everyone was calling him a generational talent at 135, and now everyone's off the train. So, it's truly is a game of you lose one fight and everyone's off you. I'm picking Peyton Talbott to win this. I don't have a method, but he's going to win this. And I would pick it to go over 1.5 rounds. Peyton Talbott says he's 9-1-0. Raoni Barcelos was his only loss. And Felipe Lima, he's got good grappling, but I don't think he's got hands too. He's got a good stand-up game. I don't think he's going to try go to the takedown unless Peyton Talbott is really piecing him up. And if Peyton Talbott is piecing up and Lima decides to grapple, I think Peyton Talbott should have worked on his takedown defense for enough to be able to stuff those takedowns and grapple coherently and consistently against someone else that's trying to take him down. After that Barcelos fight, surely he's worked on his ground game and grappling so much, because that was just embarrassing, Just held him down. He was helpless pretty much. All right, Beneil Dariush versus Renato Moicano. This is such an interesting fight. It's almost a pick'em. I believe Moicano is the slight favorite. Look, to be honest, Money Moicano, he's still riding good. Obviously he had that first round loss to Islam, but it's Islam. And before that, he absolutely mauled Benoit Saint-Denis. And you got to think about it this way, that was when BSD was he just came off the loss to Dustin, but he was still fucking everyone feared him, God of War. If after that Poirier fight, they made BSD versus Beneil, I guarantee you everyone would have been saying, oh, the UFC's trying to kill Beneil, BSD's going to mold Beneil, Dariush is dead, just because the guy's coming off 2 knockout losses to Arman and Charles, it's Arman and Charles. That's the top of the division, you put Renato Moicano against those 2 guys, he's getting starched as well, to be honest. But that being said, I'm picking Beneil Dariush to win this fight. I think it's going to be a decision. I can't really see where Moicano beats him, to be honest. I feel like the ground game was pretty equal. I'd give it to the edge to Dariush, but they're both very competent on the ground. They're both black belts in jiu-jitsu. I feel like Dariush has a slightly better stand-up. I think that's what's going to win him the fight. So this is a card for underdogs. Hey, this is a card for underdogs because I've just picked 2 in a row. I've got Dariush to win, probably by decision. I don't think he's going to find a finish. But, hey, it's a pick'em, Moicano could get it done too, but I just think Beneil Dariush is a little bit ahead. And I think Moicano's got a bit of recency bias, but I will say his win against BSD was very impressive. A lot of Brazilian fighters have a tendency to be pretty mid for the first, 4 or 5 years of their careers. And then once they get to 33, 34, they just fucking improve so much. That's what happened to Charles, he had a rough start to his career, rough midway point, and then he went on this winning streak, once Taylor was born. So I've got Dariush, probably by decision, but I would just bet Dariush. I'll bet the fight to go over 1.5 rounds. That's the play. Royval versus Van. All right, this is a good fight. I'm picking Royval. I'm picking 3 underdogs in a row. I'm picking Royval. Look, Van is great. He's fucking awesome, man. And it's like he's entertaining to watch. His boxing is so good. I don't see a lot of kicks from him, but his fight against Bruno Silva, that was very entertaining. Bruno Silva's a dog too, man. Like he went in there, you know, he got knocked down like that many times, and he still kept going. Still kept trying to fight back. You know, he was landing some body kicks. It was good to see. That being said, Royval is the top of this division. He's coming off a win against Moreno. And, you know, I feel like if you put Van against Moreno, everyone will be picking Moreno. It should be the same here, you know. Brandon Royval is just, he's the top of the division, you know. It's a very different gap. It's a very different gap in contenders when you go from fighting guys like Bruno Silva and Charles Johnson to, you know, Brandon Royval. And also, like, Van just won his fight against Bruno Silva not even a month ago. Like, this was like 2 weeks ago. So, like, it's very early for him to be coming back and, like, cutting weight again, you know? And that's how he got knocked out against Charles Johnson. He came back too early and, you know, cut weight again and, you know, and that's how it happened. So I've got Brandon Royval probably by submission or decision. And, like, Van just struggles against volume strikers who just, like, you know, peppermint punch him and, you know, move around. And especially if they got good grappling. We know Royval's grappling is top tier because he out-grappled Tatsuro Taira. I think Van versus Taira would be a great fight to make next. If he loses. If he wins, he's a whole different contender. But I've got Royval, Brandon Raw Dog Royval, probably by decision or submission. You could go with the double chance thing. Or if you just want to play it safe, bet him to win. He's at great odds already. He's paying 2-1, over 2-1. So, and yeah, he's been preparing this whole camp as well, you know. So a full camp Brandon Royval, you know, who's locked in, dangerous. He wants that second title shot against Pantoja. He's going to get this done. His cardio's unreal as well. I've got Royval. The next fight, Pantoja versus Kai Kara France. We're going to have to go with Pantoja here. He's 29-5-0. Kai Kara France is 25-11-0. Yeah, look, I mean, Pantoja's just been dominating the division. Now, to really pick this fight, I looked at Pantoja versus Urseg and Urseg versus Kai Kara France, right? And Urseg gave Pantoja, like, a real run for his money, eh? Pantoja won that fight, though. A lot of people, like, not a lot, but some people say Urseg won that fight. They just wanted the division to get spiced up, you know. Pantoja won that fight. And then, but after that close, you know, fight with Pantoja, you look at the fight with Steve Urseg and Kai Kara France, and Kai Kara France starched him. Yeah, he got him with a hook and TKO'd him. So, a lot of people are thinking that Pantoja's going to run through Kai Kara France. I don't think that's true. Because Kai Kara France, and I know MMA math doesn't work, and I'm not MMA mathing this. I'm just saying they're on the same level of competitors. They're the same level of competitor. Because Pantoja went, not life and death, but he went pretty competitive with Urseg, who Kai Kara France knocked out in one round. So, I've got Pantoja, but it will be a competitive fight. And Kai Kara France has got good takedown defense. You know, I don't doubt that at City Kickboxing with Izzy and Dan Hooker, they've been working on, you know, just a bunch of that shit. Anti-grappling. If you want to look at it like an anti-grappling guy, Corey Sandhagen's like a great example. If you look at his fight against Umar, but Corey Sandhagen was so worried about the grappling that he forgot how to strike, and that's how Umar beat him. But I've got Pantoja to win. Look, he's dominating the division. I think it's going to stay that way. But Kai Kara France will put up a fight. It will be competitive. He'll probably rock Pantoja at some point. A lot of people are calling him a journeyman. You know, like, Kai Kara France he's a legit fighter. He's a very good fighter. And He doesn't just have a puncher's chance. You know, I could see Kai Kara France winning by, you know, maybe a decision. If he could win 3 rounds with striking and, you know, anti-grappling pressure. Like, you know, just sprawling on everything, not allowing Pantoja to get close to him. But that's a what-if scenario. I've got Pantoja getting this done. And, you know, we've seen Pantoja in the championship rounds get tired, but he still goes, you know. He's still, like, yeah, he's tired, but he's still active, you know. And so I've got Pantoja winning this. Like, I just feel like Pantoja's just got, like, this dog in him, you know. He's got this warrior that, like, won't let him lose the fight. I've got Pantoja to win this. That's the first favourite we've picked on this card. Now, Ilya versus Charles. Okay. You can probably guess who I'm going for. A lot of people think Ilya's going to starch Charles. They're wrong. They're wrong. They're so fucking wrong, man. Ilya's 5'7". Charles Oliveira's 5'10", 5'11". I mean, mate, fuck. He's already mogging him with the height, bro. Like, okay. Ilya, I think Charles has a 5-inch reach advantage, and he's got a 4-inch height advantage, yeah? He's going to be pressuring Ilya the whole fight, trying to put Ilya on his back foot. Obviously, Ilya's going to be preparing for that, so I don't actually know, like, how this is going to go, like, at all. What I can tell you is that this is definitely not going to go to decision. Charles Oliveira by submission is a pretty good prop. It's paying pretty well. Obviously, the more it pays, the more unlikely it's supposed to happen, according to the bookmakers. But, I mean, most submissions in UFC history, you can't argue against that stat. So, yeah, I could see Oliveira getting a submission, for sure. I could see Oliveira getting a TKO, you know? A lot of people say Ilya's going to, you know, knock out Charles, you know, he gets hit too much, his chin's out there too much, you know? Like, man, you don't think Charles is working on that, you know? Like, he's definitely got a tennis ball under his chin, you know, like, when he's boxing and stuff, you know? Keeping that chin down, keeping it protected. He's got that high guard going, you know? He's going to be stabbing Ilya with body kicks, teeps, leg kicks, you know? Yeah, all Ilya's going to do, he's going to advance, he's going to try go with the hands. Look, I'm not saying Ilya's, you know, overrated, because he just knocked out Volk, Holloway back-to-back. If he knocked out Holloway, I mean, fuck, he could probably knock out Charles, right? 155 is a different division, though. It is a different division. And yeah, he knocked out Jai Herbert, but Charles Oliveira is not Jai Herbert. And if Jai Herbert can land a head kick like that against Ilya, Charles can too. Charles definitely can too. And he can follow it up with ground and pound. I do think if Ilya knocks Charles down, he's gonna follow him. He's going to follow him to the ground. He's not going to be scared of Charles. But I think Charles could find an advantage in that. He's got very good recovery. Like, you know, but just when he gets rocked, someone comes into his guard, he can hold them there until he's good. And then threaten submissions, you know, throw elbows. He's very good off his back. That's his bread and butter. So, bet on this fight for yourselves. What I can tell you is that you could bet on a finish from either fighter. The prop, like, the fight will not go to decision. Like, you know, that's not paying very well because it's so likely to end in a finish. But you know, I think you guys can tell who I'm betting on. He's paying $4.60 to 1. So someone's getting rich this Sunday. And yeah, we're going to see if I'm right. For all you guys betting on Ilya, you know, he's paying like, what, $1.20 to 1? I mean, fuck, that's not even worth it, man. Just put it on Charles, man. Like, there's just so many unknowns in this fight. New weight class, Oliveira's submission skills. Everyone's underrating Oliveira's striking, and everyone's overrating Ilya's grappling. Yeah, he submitted Bryce Mitchell after he, you know, put him down. Like, that's Bryce Mitchell. That's not Oliveira. All right. My official prediction for this is that the fight's going to end in a finish, and the fanboy in me is saying that Oliveira's going to win by submission. He's going to win by submission, all right? And that's real. Oliveira's going to win this by submission. Ilya's gonna mix it up. He's going to shoot a takedown, and Oliveira's going to jump on a ghillie. It'll be a no-arm guillotine. It'll just be, he won't, like, not against Armin when he had the arm in. He'll just get a regular guillotine, close guard, and finish him. That's how the fight's going to end. That's how the fight's going to end. That's actually how the fight's going to end. Ilya's not winning this, bro. He's not fucking winning this fight. I'm telling you right now, Ilia Topuria is not winning this fight. What's his record? 16-0-0, 16-1. 16-1-0 on Sunday. I'm telling you right now, guys. So, okay. Bet on either fighter to win by finish. Like, that's how you'll make your money. But Charles by submission is a good prop. Or Charles by TKO. Or just Charles in general. He's paying $4.60-1. Like, that's disrespectful, man. That's fucking disrespectful. $4.60-1? Mate. That's fucked. Like, bro, this is a former champion. This is Oliveira. He can finish anyone, you know? Like, if you're an Oliveira fan, right, you got to ask yourself this. Would you rather he fought Islam or Ilia? I would rather he fought Ilia. Because Islam is just fucked. I would be way more worried if he was fighting Islam. You got to look at it like that. Islam's gone. This is Oliveira's easiest, like, statistically easiest path to get to the title. Because, you know, if you had to fight Islam for it, that would be a different fight than Ilia. Like, you know, Islam's got a lot of things that neutralize Charles' style. All right, so this is stylistically the best matchup for Charles for a title fight out of the available options. So for Oliveira fans, this is the best case scenario. We're not going to get this again. If Charles loses this, we're done. You know, we're done. We're not going to see him fight for a title again. So he's got to win this. So this is a defining moment, all right? This is a defining moment of Oliveira's career. And this is going to decide how the rest of the year goes for, you know, a lot of us, you know, including me. So, look, I got the fight to end in finish. Round 4 to not start. And one of these guys to win by finish. Probably Charles by submission. And that's it. So, hey, let me know if... Oh, don't let me know. I'll make a video recapping the fight, and we'll see if these hit, and we'll come back. And if it doesn't hit, I'll